Hey, good morning, GCF. Just wanted to bring everybody a Friday update. I haven't done that in a couple of weeks, so it seemed to be about time for one. And the first thing I want to do is to say thank you, a big, huge, humongous thank you for how generous so many of you have been over the last 6 to 7 weeks. Our giving has not only stayed stable at GCF, but you have gone above and beyond, and that has allowed us to help some people. It's allowed us to sustain our ministry, to make some investments in some new ministry fronts. And so it's just awesome. Just want to thank you guys for that. And not only have you been faithful to giving, to our shared giving, to our general fund, but some of you were so incredibly generous to giving to our special benevolence fund so that we could help out some families at GCF and make sure members of our faith family have all that they need, especially for those who are doing without work and who are struggling a bit financially as we go through these weeks. The second thing I wanted to mention to you this morning and update is what it looks like for GCF getting up and running again. As you may know, a couple of weeks ago, the White House released to state and local governments a guideline that involved 3 phases for reopening America, and Kentucky is following those guidelines. The governor just announced this past Monday that we entered into phase 1, and so there's going to be some phase 1 openings, as they say, over the course of May. Those 3 phases involve what are called 3 different mitigation levels or prevention levels for containing the spread of COVID-19 as we open back up. And in phase 1, those mitigation levels remain pretty strict, a lot of what we've been going through already. So there's not a lot that will change for GCF at phase 1 of the White House plan. When phase 2 rolls out, that involves what they call moderate mitigation standards. And at phase 2, we may be able to start doing some gatherings at GCF again. They'll have to be small enough gatherings and large enough spaces to allow for moderate social distancing and some of the other mitigation standards that the government is recommending that we follow and the public health experts are recommending that we follow. So for example, this is not a guarantee, but it is possible that at phase 2 that our senior high school youth group could start meeting again because they're a group of about 15, and in our large room in our worship space, they would be able to practice moderate social distancing. Phase 3 involves the most minimal level of mitigation and social distancing. And so it would probably be at phase 3 where life on Sunday mornings for GCF and most other things at GCF could return to normal. There's still some minimal mitigation things that we would have to do. But like I said, that's the phase at which most things for us would return to normal. Now, I do want to note all of this is in flux, so it's hard to tell how all of this is going to work out because it depends on lots of epidemiological factors and lots of public health factors. But it is possible that when we get into phase 2, you're going to see some other churches that may be able to begin opening up a little bit more than we're able to go ahead and open up at GCF. And that's going to be because a lot of churches, they may have a room that seats 300 people or space for 300, 350 people, but they only have an attendance of 65, 70, maybe 100, and that allows them to practice more of the phase 2 mitigation measures than we're going to be able to practice, because when we get together, especially on Sundays, we fill our building to the maximum, and then sometimes it feels like it's going to overflow. So you may see some churches that are able to open up at some point in phase 2, whereas at GCF we're not able to return to full operation. And that's not going to be because we're being stubborn. That's going to be because it's not possible for us to follow the mitigation standards until we get to phase 3 on Sunday morning. So just want you to be aware of that, because you may see that happening as we roll through these phases over the next few weeks. And so those are just a few updates that I wanted to bring to you this morning. Guys, I really, really think that the end of this is in sight. I think we've still got a few weeks to go, but I think the end is out there. And so I know that this has been difficult for a lot of people. I hope that the Lord has also shown you some things and taught you some things. I know He's shown me and taught me some things over the last few weeks and pinpointed some areas in my personality and in my thinking and in my heart that need to be adjusted and need to be corrected. So I hope He's done some of that for you too, and has made you aware of His blessings and His goodness, even in the midst of some of the difficulties that this has contained. Anyway, the end I really do believe is in sight. And I think as a faith family, I've watched some of you individually on Facebook, talk to some of you. I think we have all done an amazing job of holding as strong as we could, relying upon God as much as we could. And so I just want to encourage you today, with the end in sight, and we don't know exactly what the timeline is, but we know that the end is probably now in sight. So I just want to encourage you, GCF, let's finish well. And what I mean by that is let's finish this thing the way we've managed it so far. Let's give all that we've got to Jesus to honor and glorify Jesus in the way that we live through this thing, so that when we look back on this whole event, we'll be able to say, you know what, we really gave witness to Jesus in the midst of that, instead of giving witness to the darker sides of human nature and the darker sides of human life. So let's finish well. Let's make a good, strong witness for Jesus. Hey, I'll see you guys. Well, you'll see me on the live stream on Sunday morning. It's killing me that I don't get to see you on Sundays. But again, the end is in sight, and we're almost there. So you guys will see me Sunday. I hope to see you out and about sometime over the next week or so.